And on today's Unbiased Short Take, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL going into this season. These are quarterbacks that I would start franchises with. So you got to take a lot of things into consideration. I'm looking at overall success in the past, longevity, age a little bit, and postseason success, and regular season success, and numbers as well. So I look at everything, the whole melting pot. Everything's a melting pot, and these are quarterbacks that I would personally take, in my opinion, from 1 to 10. We're going to go from 10 to 9 though, and we'll start with 10 and end with number 1. But before I do that, I do want to announce that JB did not do his short take this week because he is out car shopping. He recently got into a car accident where his car was totaled, but he is okay and no one was injured. That is the main thing. So he's out car shopping and taking care of some personal things like that. So he gets a pass this week. We're just okay. You're all right, brother. That's all I gotta say. I love you, man, and we'll see you next week. But with that, here are some guys I want to talk about that are on the outside looking in a little bit. Trevor Lawrence, yes, he had that one good season 2 years ago where he really lit him up, but last year was very, very disappointing for him. They missed the playoffs. They had a late season. They had the division lead all year long and blew it late. He had a couple injuries, but he also had 24 turnover-worthy plays last season. He ranked top 5 in big-time throws last year, 33, but also in turnover-worthy plays, 24, with 21 total turnovers on the year. That's way too many turnovers, 9 wins, disappointing coming off of that playoff win a couple years ago and that big comeback against the Chargers. So that was a disappointing year last year, so he's on the outside looking in. Brock Purdy as well, and Brock Purdy, I would actually, this is no disrespect to him because the guys on my list, I'll explain a little bit later, are just better in my opinion. Brock Purdy just has a really good supporting cast. His 78.3% adjusted completion rate was a top 5 number of in 2023. So he has good timing and accuracy. He had a 5.4% big time throw percentage. So he makes the big time throws. The stats and analytics say it for itself. So Brock Purdy is on the outside looking in though, and so is Jordan Love. Jordan Love, outstanding end of the season last year, led the Packers to a surprise playoff victory against the Cowboys. Really, really did it at the end of the season, some clutch wins, good, outstanding numbers, over 4,000 passing yards. He had a 90.4 passing grade with 27 big-time throws and just 10 turnover-worthy plays. He has an elite play down the stretch, but it's only one season, and if he does it again, he's a top 10 quarterback. He played top 10 last year, but again, let's see that more than 1 year. Defensive guys have some tape on you, coordinators do. So let's see if he can replicate that success. If he can, yeah, he absolutely is that guy. But I have no doubt. But we just need to see one more season to put him in the top 10. But he's on my outside looking in. So then let's go to my top 10. Number 10, Jared Goff. Jared Goff is, in my opinion, one of these most underrated and disrespected quarterbacks in football. This dude has played in the Super Bowl with the Rams and damn near won that Super Bowl, and damn near had the Lions in the Super Bowl last year. Led the Lions to the NFC title game last season, 4,575 passing yards, 30 tutties, 12 interceptions, 97.9 QBR. Ever since he's been traded to the Lions, they've done nothing but get better. The year before that, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Year before that, 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and had a really good career with the Rams as well, as much as people don't like to admit it. So, I mean, at one point, Jared Goff had over 4,500 passing yards. 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, QBR of over 100 2 seasons in a row. So he had outstanding success in LA and playing for the Rams. So he's the most disrespected quarterback in the league, and it says something to be able to take the Lions to the playoffs and win some playoff games. First time in decades he's done that. So put some respect on Jared Goff's name. Completed almost 70% of his passes last year. He's top 10 quarterback. He's not a sexy quarterback, but he's a top 10 quarterback. There's absolutely no doubt. The numbers are there. He's been doing it for years. So, number 9, I have Justin Herbert. The Chargers do Charger things. Justin Herbert is an outstanding talent. I'm not saying he's not, and he made the playoffs a couple years ago. Yes, they did, but Justin Herbert's never won his division. Last year, they missed the playoffs totally, and he had an injury to end of the season. They blew that massive lead a couple years ago against the Jaguars in the playoffs. Last season, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's never had a passer rating of over 100. I mean, he's a good talent. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Phillip Rivers. Just another Phillip Rivers. Good stats. Puts good numbers out there. Good for fantasy league. Not a winner. He hasn't won anything yet. This dude has less playoff victories than Dak Prescott. He's been in the league, and it's going into his 5th year now. So, I mean, time's a-ticking, my friend. Time's a-ticking. That's all I'm saying. But, I mean, he is a top talent in the league, so let's not disrespect that. He didn't make the playoffs. 31 touchdowns, 38 touchdowns, 25 touchdowns, 20 touchdowns last year. So he's a good talent, puts up good numbers. I just need to see more winning, more team success. I need to see that. I need to see a healthy season of that, too, and not blowing double-digit touchdown leads in the playoffs against Jacksonville. That's all I'm saying. He has a lot to prove. That's all I'm saying. Still a top 10 talent, not disputing that. But number 8, I have C.J. Stroud, and I would have him higher on this list. But I mean, he's, like I said, I need to, kind of like Jordan Love, similar situation. I need to see more success of it. Defensive coordinators have tape on him now. I mean, he's a offensive rookie of the year coming out. The 3rd most completions of 20-plus yards, 32, with the lowest turnover-worthy play rate in the league on such passes. That's insane because he's a rookie. He's never seen the league before. He was a rookie doing that. I mean, he is that man. Best rookie season all time. All-pro type of season from C.J. Stroud. Took the Texans to the playoffs and won a playoff game, won the division, and they got Stephon Diggs now, Tank Dell. They got a team. They really, really have a team in Houston. DeMeco Ryans had that defense. They also have Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year, for the rookies last season as well on the defensive side. So that Houston team is just getting better, and they have Collins coming back, and they have Joe Mixon now as well. So that's going to be a very scary Houston team. Again, to put Stroud in my top 5, I need to see 2 more seasons out of that. Moving on, we are now at number 7, and this one might get a lot of hate. I'm going to say Dak Prescott, actually. Dak Prescott, people say, oh, he's lower. Herbert, he's not better than Herbert. Yeah, he is. Where's Justin Herbert's playoff victories? Oh, that's right, he doesn't have any. Dak at least can win a playoff game every now and then. Yeah, they always choke at least after round 1, always. But they'll win you a playoff game. He'll get you to the playoffs. Herbert can't even get you to the playoffs consistently. Last season, Dak Prescott, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 23 touchdowns, 15 picks the year before that. Year before that, 37 and 10. Dak Prescott's been playing good ball since 2016. He's been a multiple-time Pro Bowler, but he is 30. There is lack of playoff success and stability in the playoffs. So I understand it. That's why he's not a top 5 quarterback for me. If he had playoff success and can get the Cowboys to at least the NFC title game, he'd be a top 5 quarterback in the league. There's no doubt about it. It's the playoffs that get Dak Prescott. But there's no doubt in my mind he's a top 10 quarterback in this National Football League. He'll get to the playoffs, and that's more than half the league can say. So, I mean, I'm sure the Jets wouldn't mind, making the playoffs and whatnot. So, since they have the longest playoff drought in the NFL right now. So, I mean, there's worse places to be than where Dallas is. So I think Dak Prescott's still a top 10 quarterback. Moving on to number 6, I have Matthew Stafford. And people say, well, Dak Prescott is significantly younger at 30 than 36. Yeah, but let's not act like Dak Prescott's any younger. And Matt Stafford has been balling, playing at an elite level of football ever since 2011, where he had 41 touchdowns. He led the Lions to the playoffs, didn't get him any victories a couple times as well. On top of the fact he's a Super Bowl champion and won the Super Bowl with the Rams. So he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. So I mean, there's no doubt about it. He needs to be higher than any of the other quarterbacks, considering they don't have any championships. They just don't have all the accolades you need longevity-wise, championship-wise. They just haven't done it yet. So Matt Stafford with that Super Bowl ring, there's only 2 quarterbacks on this list of mine that have Super Bowl rings. So, and Matt Stafford's one of them. So until these other guys win championships and whatnot and have the long career like Matt Stafford has, I have to put him at number 6. The Rams were still a playoff team last year. They have Puka, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams in the backfield as well. So that's a scary team. It's a very, very scary team. Now, moving into our top 5. Number 5, Jalen Hurts. I seen a list that had Jalen Hurts totally out of the top 10. That is absolutely disrespectful to Jalen Hurts because he's one of the best dual-threat quarterbacks in the league. 3 years in a row, the Eagles have made the playoffs. 3 years in a row, he's had at least 25 total touchdowns, running and passing. 3 years in a row of multiple rushing touchdowns. Last season, career high in passing yards, 3,858, 23 pass touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 15 rush touchdowns. My God, he's a baller. Over 30 total touchdowns 2 years in a row. And the year before that, he had 26 total touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is a baller. He can do it. He's made a Super Bowl, damn near won it, and made the playoffs every year as a starter. And they're a favorite to be in the NFC playoffs again this season. And he's only 25 years old. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He has enough seasons down in his belt to do that, and he's a dual threat. Not a lot of guys can say that. And he's actually not injury prone, unlike some of these guys. Matt Stafford's injury prone, and he's 36 years old. Age matters. That's all I'm saying. Age is a factor. Injuries is a factor in all of this. So Jalen Hurts, people got to give him his flowers, and there's a lot of disrespect on Jalen Hurts' name, and it's sad. All right, moving forward. This is where things get interesting. Number 4, Josh Allen. The Bills. Josh Allen absolutely shits his pants whenever he plays Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. And it's kind of embarrassing. I think their Super Bowl window has actually closed. I doubt if they're a playoff team at all because they don't have any playmaking receivers. They lost their top 2 receivers on the roster with Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. They lost a lot of defensive players as well. So Josh Allen kind of reminds me of the old Brett Favre. He has a lot of turnovers. I think the Bills will be in contention for a playoff spot. But and he's still a top 5 quarterback. But when he plays Pat Mahomes, he can't get it done. And I have no more excuses for him at all. He's had plenty of opportunities to do it. He's beat him in the regular season, but can't do it in the playoffs. And you had it at your home stadium. It's disappointing because he's on pass right now to be the next Dan Marino or Jim Kelly. So, and Josh Allen is a outstanding talent, but he can't beat Pat Mahomes. He can't do it in the playoffs. So until then, he has no regular season MVP awards. So he lands number 4 on my list. He's never been to a Super Bowl. Can't beat Mahomes. No MVPs. Just a bunch of good numbers and division championships. Woo! That's all I'm saying. Number 3, Lamar Jackson. He's above Josh Allen for those other reasons. Lamar Jackson has 2 MVP awards. Lamar Jackson's also been a Pro Bowler. Lamar Jackson's absolutely the best dual threat in the league. Defending it, league MVP, plays in the best division in football, made the AFC Championship game last year. More than Josh Allen's done. So I'm going to say Lamar Jackson's number 3. He's had multiple years of 1,000 yards running as a quarterback. Only Michael Vick's done that also. So he's one of the best all-time running dual-threat quarterbacks of all time. And he can throw the ball too. And I look for that. There's been a disturbance in the force for the defensive coordinators with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry back there. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews. Talented team. They're going to be balling, that Ravens team. And number 2 is Joe Burrow. You could argue Lamar Jackson here. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that. And I might flip it depending on the regular season. The only reason I say Joe Burrow here, yes, his injury history. Yeah, people say always come off an injury, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's been hurt 2 of his 4 seasons in the league. That's fair. But let's not act like Lamar Jackson hasn't had some injuries either and missed playoff games also. So let's take that into consideration. Yes, Joe Burrow does not have those 2 MVPs, but Joe Burrow has beat Pat Mahomes. He's been the only guy to do it in the AFC. Lamar Jackson ain't beat him. So until someone else beats Pat Mahomes, bearing another Joe Burrow injury this season, he's still number 2 in the league. But he has to stay healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, then he's going to drop on the list. And because availability is the best ability. But when he's out there, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, top 2 easily. Been the only guy to beat Mahomes and was an offensive line assignment away from winning that Super Bowl since they had a wide open receiver at the end of that Super Bowl. So then number 1, of course, is Pat Mahomes, 3-time Super Bowl champion, multiple-time league MVP, Super Bowl MVP. going to go down as an all-time great likely, so long as he keeps this up. Is a Hall of Famer now if he retires. If he keeps it up, it's going to be an all-time great. 3-time Super Bowl champ. I mean, you got to give the man his props. So, I mean, number one, it's an easy choice. If anyone says otherwise, they're absolutely wrong. In his worst season last year, regular season, why is the man still won the freaking Super Bowl? So, Patrick Mahomes is absolutely the best quarterback in the NFL. There's absolutely no refuting that. Again, that's all I got. What do you guys think of my list? Trash or pass? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Check out our Facebook. The link will be in the description down below that also. Again, check out our Facebook. We'll see you all on next week's podcast. That's all I got. As always, boiler up. Let's go Heat. But most importantly this time of year, go Pack and go, baby. Football season's almost here. It's July 21st, August 1st. Hall of Fame game. I'm ready. Dark times are coming to an end. It's killing me. Killing me. We'll see you all on next week's podcast.